we are back for the second KEG day here. So I had a bit more idea of what I was doing technique-wise. However, I was a lot more tired and just overall dead, especially mentally for this. I did really not want to do this today, but time-wise, if I didn't have a competition coming up and didn't have to really learn the KEG, I probably would have pushed this back and given myself another day of rest, but I needed to get the work done. So I kept it light again and just really practiced the technique. I think I got way too much in my head here though with, which elbow is supposed to go down, which one's supposed to go up, how much am I getting it on my shoulder right before I press and as I press, and how is it rotating, and then it's like you start focusing on that too much, you're not exploding with your hips and legs as much. So it was a struggle. The first couple are absolutely horrible. I think towards the end I do get a few decent reps in where I lock it out overhead and it's smooth off the ground. The whole process, it's by no means perfect, but it's a lot better than what I'm doing here at the start and what was happening last week. So yeah, you can see here I'm just thinking and trying to, figure it out. Again, I was really mentally dead and tired, so it probably took me a bit longer than it should have. It wasn't just right there in my brain. I had to kind of dig for it and think about what I'm doing and why it's going wrong. And I wanted to do that on the spot. So yeah, like I was saying, I wanted to do that on the spot without immediately checking the video to see what I was doing or what, say, other people are doing. Strongman, all the movements, everybody might figure out something slightly different. There's different ways, like a lot of lightweight, smaller women will grab a KEG more upright. That works for some guys, but more traditionally, guys will do other stuff. And yeah, I just didn't want to get information analysis paralysis and really start overthinking it. I just wanted to kind of grind it out and figure it out here, as I think that would be more productive for me right now. So yeah. If you're getting frustrated watching these horrible reps, just stay tuned because I do get a few decent ones at the end. Yeah. Also, my warm-up for this, by the way, pretty much anytime I'm doing any pressing or any overhead work or any strongman movement, it's 1 to 2 sets of pull-ups and then maybe a bit of a hang if my back's sore at all. If I feel I need ankle mobility, I'll do the whole just, sit in a goblet squat with like a plate or a kettlebell and kind of put pressure on each ankle. If I need glute activation, I'll put the band on my feet and then I'll put it up on my knees after that for some abductor. And yeah, a bit of tricep push downs, a bit of face pulls, and then just start doing the movement. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty good there. If I haven't moved around yet that day or I've been sedentary in the past few hours, I will do like a fast-ish walk on the treadmill at no incline, just to get the heart rate up too. Can help release some norepi and can really help get the caffeine working, I find. So that's always good. bodybuilding leg accessory. Yeah, and with the front foot elevated, it is technically easier, but also it's a different movement, and you're really just trying to get the range of motion in terms of your glute touching your ankle and pushing that knee forward. I do about 8 per leg here. My quads were super sore from my last SSB day that I did, and really just all my legs were pretty beat up, so these were actually a lot harder than they normally would have been. Also on these KEG or axle or log overhead work days, to help the clean goblet squats or Zercher squats with a tempo can be very useful. Then here we go into barbell rows. One thing I don't do here, because I was feeling a little fatigued and just not super necessary, is I do an overhand barbell row with this, with my body somewhat upright. It could be more upright for more traps and rear delt emphasis if I wanted to do more of a cheat row. These are just kind of almost like a Dorian Yates style row, some of the bodybuilding sphere might say. But yeah, so I do them overhand, decent range of motion, just, activating my whole upper back, tensions on everything, they're good. The thing that I'm not doing is, once I'm done the overhand work, switch to underhand and bend over a bit more, and with the bicep involved there, you can get a few more reps. It just makes sense to me. I've been doing it ever since I started in the gym. I know other people do it. And at one point after I started doing it, I did see it in a West Side video. Of course, Louis had whoever that was in the video doing like a set of 50 or 100, but same principle. You do overhand, then you switch to underhand. Could be nice for a pump if you guys want to try it. Here we have some more dumbbell tricep extensions, and as I said in the other videos, feeder up to try to keep my back flat, stop me from cheating, or just, you don't want an arch on these. Yeah, I think I'm doing a set of like 6 to 10 was the idea of grabbing the weight. I think I got about 8, 9, 10 on most sets. I sort of paused in the bottom. Yeah, not a super slow negative or anything, not worried about a super big stretch or anything else. That would come with something like a rollback or even a rolling extension. But yeah, these are, not as heavy as I would go on a JM, and because they're still a skull or just basic dumbbell extension, I want to keep them kind of strict. So yeah, first tricep movement, help the overhead, and then after these we are going into the hand mold rope push downs, which you can see here. Cable was set, I didn't really notice it. I noticed it was kind of low, but I was like, no, it's fine. It wasn't. And also, I guess the weight was slightly too heavy. I find with these, it's all by feel. Even if you're working on the same machine, you know what you're around. Even if you know the exact number, this week, especially on an accessory, might be different to something else. The attachment you're using might be different. Might be at a different point in your workout. So many factors can affect this, and unless you're a bodybuilder, you still want to push your accessories, but it's kind of just what's going to let you get the rep range you want for that weight. So yeah, throughout the sets, I move the pin higher each time. And yeah, again, first say 6 to 8 reps out of a set of 10 or 12, and really focusing on the twist and holding it. But the main thing with a rope or this hand mold rope is just a hard extension to fire that, kind of push down part of the tricep.